On November 22nd, 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas during a campaign trip, much to a stunned nation. Imagine sitting in your living room watching your favorite soap opera when suddenly a voice cuts through with an urgent bulletin: the president has been shot.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
This was the reality for millions of Americans on that day, and the way the networks responded changed broadcast history forever. It's important to remember that 1963 was a time when television technology was still evolving. The broadcast world had limitations by today's standards. No satellite transmissions, digital editing, or instant communication tools that we now take for granted. Yet, despite these challenges, the major networks, CBS, NBC, and ABC, managed to cover the tragedy with surprising speed and reliability, using radio and TV. We will present these video segments from the first reports of the Dealey Plaza shooting to the shooting of Lee Harvey Oswald without enhancing the audio and video so you can see and hear the technology, warts, and all. When news of JFK's assassination broke, it took a while for broadcasters to appear on screen because television cameras at the time required a significant warm-up period, meaning they needed around 20 minutes to be ready to broadcast a live image, which caused a delay in getting anchors on air immediately after the news broke. Often initial reports were delivered only through audio until the cameras were ready.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
When the shots were fired at 12:30 p.m. CST, the nation's newsrooms were caught off guard. Walter Cronkite, anchor for CBS, famously interrupted as the world turns with the first bulletin of the shooting.
Brought to you by Instant Niagara and new Niagara Spray Star.
It a great deal. Required coordination between the radio news team, who received the initial wire reports, and the television staff, who scrambled to go live. It was fascinating how the radio news switched between their bulletins on the JFK shooting and their regular programming.
When is the best time to trim young maple trees?
Floyd, I have something rather important from the WTIC newsroom in the form of a bulletin. President Kennedy is reported to have been wounded by an assassin in Dallas, Texas. There are no further details available at this time. We repeat, President Kennedy has been wounded by an assassin in Dallas, Texas. We will have further details as received. I'm sure everybody joins us in deploring this regretful news.
I should think
But we'll bring details as soon as we possibly can.
We certainly will. We'll stay right on top of that. All right, let's see if we can continue on with Mike Line here while we're waiting any more news from our newsroom. Hello?
Oh, golly, isn't that awful?
It certainly is.
Well, I got the recipe. This is rice fishman.
Yes, right. Okay.
Oh, my. I just took my breath away.
Did ours too.
So,
Well, one package, it's with the German sweet chocolate.
Yes.
One package of the German sweet chocolate.
German sweet chocolate.
Oh, I can't even get my breath. My goodness. 1/2 cup butter or margarine.
Cup butter. Okay.
1/2 cup boiling water.
1/2 cup boiling water.
2 cups of sugar.
2 cups of sugar. Will you hold it just a minute, Roz? We have some.
here are further details from the WTIC newsroom. President Kennedy and Governor John B. Connally of Texas were cut down by an assassin's bullets as they toured downtown Dallas in an open automobile today. The president, his limp body cradled in the arms of his wife, was rushed to Parkland Hospital. We will give you further details as received.
Well,
which rather changes the complexion of many, many things at this time, and looks as if we have two national victims here, the governor and the president, at this first reading. This is a very regretful thing, and the kind of news which I'm afraid is a little bit more than I care to handle. But we've got to be on the job anyway. We'll continue along, Floyd.
Oh, Roz, you're right in the middle of a terrible thing here. Perhaps we'd be best to just keep right on going as best we can, and we'll stay on top of the news as best we can here.
I don't feel like it. Can I?
Yes, all right. I understand it. I think that's smart. Okay. But give us a call when you can.
Yeah, I will.
All right. Bye.
This has got to be the worst. We're in good spirit here, but our responsibility here is to bring you information as soon as we can. Now, we don't want anyone to get the wrong idea on this. At the moment, it's a very unfortunate and tragic historical circumstance.
The newsroom used teletypes, machines that printed news bulletins on paper at a rapid pace to keep reporters updated. You will see this behind the newscasters as newsroom technicians lean over the teletypes, a precursor to the fax machine, pulling off the reports and handing them to the hosts. In an era without computers, these machines were lifelines for real-time information. Producers and technicians used analog landlines to coordinate between the Dallas Bureau and the New York headquarters.
Further information here. The Catholic priest who helped perform the last rites, Father Huber, Dallas, said that he did not believe the president was dead at that time. The priest left the emergency operating room at Parkland Hospital and walked out of the hospital. There has been, just a moment.
Bob, if you will stand by just a moment until I attach this little device to the earpiece, and then I'll tell you when to go ahead. Please go ahead, Bob. Go ahead, Bob.
You can drop the box frame. They have it direct, they say. You can give it off. Go ahead. He's going. And we're not getting it, so perhaps we'd better go back to the black box. We're not getting it on a direct feed, Frank. We may have to return to that black box.
Bob, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we are going to experience difficulties with the feed. So would you start at the top again, please, Bob, and I'll repeat you that the last time. Headed, Bob. The last right is the wrong.
On the visual side, footage capturing Kennedy's arrival at Love Field, the motorcade, and the chaotic scenes following the assassination came from handheld film cameras. These cameras were heavy, required significant manpower, and used 16mm film, a format that had to be developed before it could be aired. To speed up the process, news stations used kinescopes, a method of filming a TV screen to broadcast an event as it unfolded. This process, while effective for the time, often resulted in distorted and grainy images. Reporters in the field, such as those near Parkland Hospital or the Texas School Book Depository, use mobile radio units to send audio reports back to the station. These units, bulky by today's standards, were considered state-of-the-art at the time. Audio quality was often inconsistent with static and interference, but it was the best technology available.
It's not known for sure, but it is believed that President Kennedy has been shot. Bob Welch, WBAP Radio News.
Contact with our reporters there by telephone and by whatever other means to bring you the news as it comes through.
Anchors like Cronkite at CBS and Frank McGee at NBC operated under immense pressure. They relied on information from reporters relayed through headsets and teletypes often reading updates as they were handed to them on pieces of paper. The broadcast footage from that day shows moments of silence as anchors pause to confirm new details.
Yards of where the president was shot in Jared. You'll have to. There's another mic here somewhere. Can we excuse our impromptu? Here we go. Sir, is this one on now, Bobby?
On the Associated Press, someone had asked one of the presidential advisors, companions, for any news, and he refused comment to ask if he had been wounded fatally. And this was about 5 minutes ago that came over about the same time I brought that whole thing in.
Do we have a report yet from Parkland Hospital? Is there any word from there?
No, not yet.
Will you check in the newsroom and see if any of the newsmen are there? See if we're on tape over there. We're both. We're on the air now, and we are taping. Congressman Jim Wright of Fort Worth said both Kennedy and Connally were seriously wounded but still alive. A call has been sent out from some of the top surgical specialists in Dallas, and a call also went out for a priest.
It's unusual, the reaction you get when you see someone, well, of course, like the president, such a political figure.
Those pauses and visible reactions brought raw, unscripted emotion to the broadcast, something that profoundly impacted viewers. ABC and NBC also rushed to report. Chet Huntley and David Brinkley, co-anchors of NBC's Evening News, scrambled to deliver continuous coverage. Get this, just like today's breaking news and social media, there were reports which later turned out to be false.
I report this bulletin that a Secret Service agent and a Dallas policeman were shot and killed here today.
Mrs. Kennedy and Mrs. Connally might have been wounded.
Report that Lyndon Johnson suffered a heart attack.
Like today's news reports, the broadcast news, using their mobile units, conducted man-on-the-street reporting. Here are segments from those interviews.
A flash from Dallas. 2 priests who were with President Kennedy say he is dead of bullet wounds. The fact was almost beyond belief. The face and voice of the young girl summed it up. What's your feeling right now?
I really couldn't say. Really, right now I just don't know what to do. I don't even know where to go, what to say. Nothing.
Now for a report from our mobile unit in Chicago. We go to Chicago and Russ Bensley.
Sir, how did the news of President Kennedy's death affect you?
As a man of God, I would say that I felt the impact of the sniper's bullet. I would also say that I felt the pain that the president had in his dying moments. Thank you.
Thank you. How do you feel, sir?
It was once said that history repeats itself. Look at Abe Lincoln and John Wilkes Booth. The rain you see here in Chicago is not rain, it's emotion.
Sir, how do you feel?
Well, I feel shocked. I can hardly express my emotion. And I hope that the country will survive.
Ma'am? Sir?
I just couldn't believe it when I heard it. We were in school. All of a sudden we were just told the president was dead. It seemed possible.
This is a dark day in the history of America. This man, I think, wanted to save America. Shortly after the news of the president's death, CBS News correspondent Bernard Eisman went out into the streets of New York, and here is his report.
As the news of President Kennedy's death spread through the city, to those who hadn't heard it or had heard only the first fragmentary reports, even the street, which is normally so loud you can't hear yourself talking to another person, acquired a stillness that it's never known. Wherever there was a radio or a television set, people gathered to listen. Can you tell me what your first reaction was, ma'am, when you...
How did you ever have this country since President Lincoln?
How about you, sir?
I couldn't believe it, that's all. I just couldn't believe it.
And you, sir? What was your believe it? I didn't believe it. Who do you think would do something like this?
I don't know. I can imagine in a way. I can imagine.
How about you, sir?
I feel very bad. That's all I can say.
Can you imagine who would do something like this, sir?
Well, I don't think anybody in their right mind. I think this is a terrible thing for our country, not only for our country, but for the entire world.
Have you been thinking about what's happened in the last few hours, sir?
Yes, I have. I'm deeply shocked. I'm ashamed this sort of thing can happen in America.
And how about you, sir? Have you had what are your first reactions to a tragedy of this sort?
My first reaction, sir, is that I hope these Southerners, these radicals, are satisfied to get their pound of flesh and killing a man as good as that.
We are now going to go to an NBC mobile unit, which is outside the NBC building here in New York, for pictures and sounds of the reaction of citizens of this city to the loss of their president. We go to NBC reporter Jeff Pond.
We're on the street outside the NBC studios in Rockefeller Center. Sir, how did you hear of the president's assassination?
Gentleman came into an office in which I was transacting business and mentioned it to us, and at the time I really wasn't able to believe it. I had to hear it for myself, and unfortunately I did very shortly afterwards.
What is your feeling now?
I'm terribly shocked and saddened by it, and I would add angered by it.
Why angered?
I think it was a horrible, senseless thing, and I hope that the rest of the country feels the same way.
Do you think that this assassination somehow reflects a climate of opinion in the country now?
I hope that it doesn't reflect a climate of opinion that is very prevalent in the country today. It certainly obviously reflects an opinion that some people hold. I hope that as an American and the other people as Americans do not generally hold this feeling.
You said some people. Who do you mean by that?
I don't feel expert enough to express an opinion, but the only evidence that I have as to who these people are these ultra-conservative groups that have been distributing literature and spreading hate in Texas, and who attacked Ambassador Stevenson was about a week ago.
A little longer than that. Of course, no one knows that these people are indeed responsible.
No, certainly not.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, what was your reaction?
I was very shocked and saddened by the president's death. I was getting some eyeglasses fitted when I first heard about it, and then I was riding on a bus when they finally told me he was dead.
Do you find it difficult to believe even now?
I really do. I really find it difficult to believe now.
The president was in Dallas, which is, of course, part of the South. Do you think that somehow his racial policies are in any way connected with this?
That's the first thing I thought of when I heard about it, yes. I thought that probably some segregationist crackpot or something, just they had it all planned out, and I really believe that his blood will be on their hands forever, yes.
Thank you. How about you, sir? Do you believe it even now?
This is the first time in my life I honestly say I'm not proud to be an American. Right now I'm serving in the armed forces and I'm just home on leave, and it's an understatement to say it was a shock. I at first did not believe it, and I have trouble believing it now. I just don't think it reflects the thinking of most people. As was stated before, I think it's a small minority, and it's just an unfortunate day for the United States that this can happen. This is something that you read in history books and just never want to believe that can happen when you're living.
This is Ed Hogan of WFAA Television in Dallas, Texas. We are standing on the grounds of Parkland Hospital, where President Kennedy was brought just a few hours ago and has died, as most of you have already know. We want to possibly talk to some of the people here who are standing. What is your name, please?
Mrs. Quincy Adams.
Mrs. Quincy, are you from Dallas, Miss Adams?
Yes.
How does this affect you?
Well, it's just a complete shock, and I think it means a doom for our country.
I'm Ed Hogan of WFAA TV, and if you turn around this, what is your name, please?
Mrs. Schofield.
Mrs. Schofield, how do you feel on this?
Pretty terrible about it. We're from Loveland, Colorado. We're just down here for today. Just got down.
Oh, you are?
I have a daughter bad sick.
They were here. No, broke up over a hit and run accident the other day.
Well, I'm awfully
sorry. That's what we're trying to get in now to see her.
Well, I'm awfully sorry.
I feel terrible about this. I just think it's one of the most terrible things that's ever happened.
May I ask your name, please?
Lanny Kinsey.
I see you're wearing a banner, Lanny Coates. What about you have a football game tonight?
Yes, sir.
I would imagine. What school do you go to?
Cary.
To Cary School here in Dallas?
Yes, sir.
How do you feel? What is your reaction to this terrible thing that has happened to our president?
Well, I just can't see why anybody would want to shoot Mr. Kennedy for all the things he's done for us and tried to keep us from getting into war and everything.
I see. And we might get over here. What is your name, please?
Gary Verts.
Gary Verts?
Uh-huh.
And Gary, you from Dallas?
Yes, I am.
How do you feel? What is your reaction to this terrible thing that has happened?
Well, it's a bad thing that's happened. I think it shouldn't have happened here, really, because it's going to give this place a real bad name.
What's your name, sir?
Ernie Lowenstein.
And how did you hear the news of the death of the president?
I was delivering cleaning to one of my customers when I heard the television say the president had been shot, and then also heard the maid say, "My God, they just shot the president."
What was your own feeling?
Well, I felt deeply hurt. That's the only way I could put it. I was not shocked as badly as the maid, but I felt very, very hurt.
What's your name?
My name is George Kaiser.
And where were you when you heard the news?
I was in the stock exchange.
What happened there?
Well, immediately the news came over the ticker tapes at the stock exchange. Everybody was shocked, and the stock exchange immediately closed down, and finally closed down with a loss of 21 points.
And what was your own feeling?
My own feeling, while I am a Republican, is that it's a shame and a disgrace that anything like that could happen in this country.
For the reaction of some Dallasites, here is CBS newsman Nelson Benton.
And these are average citizens of Dallas, Texas. Could we ask your reaction to the president's death?
Well, we were just horrified when we heard that we couldn't believe that he had been shot. I heard we were working, and someone came in and told us that the president had been shot, and we just didn't believe him. That we didn't think that anything like that could happen.
Is this your wife?
Yes, it is.
May I ask you, what was your reaction?
I just couldn't believe it. I had only seen him just moments before, alive, and then...
You watched the parade?
Yes, I did. It was horrible.
How do you think the city of Dallas feels about it?
I think they think it's horrible.
Everyone I've talked to is just, they just can't believe anything like this could happen here.
Didn't believe it at first. They came down there at the bank and telling us, and we just didn't believe it. We just walked down just a few minutes before it happened.
You were at work at the time?
Yes, I was at work at the time, so I couldn't believe it.
What was the reaction among the people at the bank?
Well, none of us could believe it until we got phone calls from our friends and relatives and everything, hearing it on the radio and then telling us, and then we came to realize that it had happened. We just couldn't believe it.
Thank you very much. Could I talk to you a moment, ma'am? What is your reaction to the tragic event that occurred here
I
today?
can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
Where were you when you heard about it?
I was at work.
Had you seen the parade?
No, we hadn't gone in.
How did you hear about it?
One of a department head from another department came in and said that President Kennedy was dead, and none of us, we just couldn't believe it.
Well, when I heard the news, I was so stunned, and it just shocked, and I'm still nervous. We lost a good man.
We take you now to the heartland of America and the reaction in Chicago.
The scene here on Chicago State Street this gloomy, rainy afternoon is much the same as in any American city. Groups of people gathered about wherever a television set is displayed. Vince, did you ever see the president?
Yes, sir.
When?
In the political campaign of 1960. I was one of the workers for him. Saw him right before a huge torchlight parade that we had about a month before the election. And he shook my hand and asked me about all I could tell him was my name. He asked me a few questions. I was just kind of in awe of being, you're such a great person. And all I remember him saying then was, keep up the good work. And he congratulated not only me, or told not only me to keep up the work, but the whole party system and all the young people in particular.
What are your thoughts now, young man, as you know that your president is dead?
Well, I feel it's a terrible thing. It's but it's something we're going to have to live with. And I don't think we should fly off the handle and start blaming groups either to the extreme right or the extreme left. It's something that happened. The killer should be brought to justice, but...
Ma'am, what's your reaction now that you know that President Kennedy is dead?
I think it's a great loss to the country and the whole world. President Kennedy was a good man. I think it's a great loss.
Around, trying to absorb this awful news. This is Frank Reynolds on State Street in Chicago. Now back to New York.
That was Frank Reynolds in Chicago.
The cop on the beat here is Patrolman Martin Friedel. Patrolman Friedel, have you ever seen Times Square like this?
All the time I've been here, I've never seen it like this. I mean, it's really something. You can sense the remorselessness on the people's faces. You can see it on them, and you can also sense it. I myself and all other officers I've seen, I've talked to, they all feel the same way. They all have like an open feeling in their stomach, just like I have. It's really something. It's really bad. I mean, even in the station house, there was no kidding around or anything like that today. Everybody was just dead serious.
And you yourself?
Myself, like I said before, I've got an open feeling in my stomach. It's really tragic.
Very few people here compared to a normal Friday night.
Oh, this is by no means a normal Friday night. Not by any means, not close to it. All your theaters are shut down, all the movies. The people are around, but Broadway is not Broadway tonight.
Jules Bergman is waiting in Times Square with reaction there. We go to Jules Bergman.
This is Jules Bergman reporting from Times Square from 44th Street and Broadway in the heart of New York. With us in this crowd, a GI back from Germany on leave. What's your name, soldier? How did this shock hit you?
Real bad.
What do you feel about it?
It tightens up inside. He was a good man for the services. I liked him a lot. When he voted, if he ran again, I would vote for him again.
What is your feeling about it, ma'am?
The shock. I was for Kennedy, and I was going to vote for him. And I was for him. And I just can keep from crying. I really like him.
Do you believe it has really happened?
Well, it was told to me so nonchalantly that I almost fell off my chair at work. It just spread through the office very fast, and they let it down.
What about you, sir? What is your reaction?
I was quite shocked. I think the world has lost its greatest leader. And I just can't believe that anybody could be as miserable as that to do what they did to our great president.
Do you feel the people will go on, the nation will not lose its impetus?
No, we'll just carry right on. We're a great nation. And we'll recover. It's a great loss.
What about you, son? You were here, watch this happen.
Right now, I'm more concerned about the country and the people, what their reaction is going to be. And I think that each of us are going to have to think about more the responsibility that the President Kennedy used to talk about, so that something like this can't happen again. And that maybe we can hang together now at a time where we're really going to have to be together now when the country needs this responsibility that President Kennedy has talked about. I think,
Go ahead.
I think that it's more important now to think about America and about responsibility, about being in the home and comforting those who are close to you, and ringing on your neighbor's bell and comforting your neighbor, and talking to the person next to you, comforting him and having him comfort you.
What's your feeling, sir?
This is the most dastardly act against mankind that I can remember. The assassination of our great president.
All across the United States, people are still, I think, perhaps responding more with disbelief even yet than any other single emotion to the tragedy which occurred today. One of the places where we have had cameras brought out and mobile units set up is in San Francisco. So for a sampling of the mood in that West Coast city, we now go to station KRON-TV in San Francisco and Jerry Jensen.
How do you feel about hearing this news?
I still can't believe it. I know it happened, but I still can't believe it.
Where were you when you first learned of the death?
I work here at the Chronicles. I was at my desk.
Sir, what are your feelings?
I was shocked and almost beyond belief. I was at work when I first heard of it in Richmond, and I knew somebody came into the office and mentioned something about it. It's still too much to believe. I'm very saddened by the horrible thing that happened. It's almost impossible still to comprehend the terrible disaster.
Thank you. And you, sir?
Well, I think this is something that everyone in the country shares the blame for. And I hope that everyone, especially the Southern white moderates, take every possible step they can to see that it never happens again or anything like it. I hope that the moderates, especially in the South, do everything they can to quell this type of fanaticism and stop it. This is going to destroy the South and perhaps the whole country.
Sir?
Well, sir, I worked for the Chronicle in the printing department as a machinist, and I was very saddened and shocked. Everybody I worked with was very heartfelt and sad. Mr. Kennedy, who has helped to do so much for our country, uniting for peaceful purposes and banning the bomb and civil actions that Mr. Kennedy was always for, and I feel it's a great loss to the country.
Thank you, sir. Perhaps the best reaction is best summed up. A hero is dead, and the people know it. This is Jerry Jensen reporting from San Francisco. Our reporter, David Schumacher, was outside the White House and talked to some of those people. Let's look at that film now.
Could you tell me what you're thinking as you stand and look at the White House as you have for a long time?
Well, I'm picturing JFK the way he was. I just can't see him now, not existing anymore.
Well, I was thinking that possibly the only thing we could do is to pray that Lyndon Johnson can carry on.
Well, I think this is a tragic day. Yesterday was a tragic day. And I think all are deeply moved by what has happened.
It doesn't seem possible. It seems to be such a waste and such a tragedy. It's just not, it doesn't seem possible.
Well, it seems unreal. Like, this can't happen in our country.
I feel the profound grief that's around the whole area, and that something dreadful has happened, and uncertainty about what is going to happen after this.
Well, I think that we all, more than with any other president, I think the people of the United States have identified themselves with the Kennedy family, and I think the grief that we all feel at this event, this tragedy, is much more real and much more personal than if it would have happened to other presidents.
What are your feelings of today? Well, it's a real bad day.
In closing, the coverage of JFK's assassination not only informed a grieving nation, but also set a precedent for live television reporting that would shape the future of news media. It was a moment where the limits of technology were tested and pushed, showcasing the resilience and ingenuity of an era that laid the groundwork for the 24-hour news cycle we know today.